Hello and welcome to Mystic Visions. This is a monthly tarot reading for Libra for the month of February. And this is a general reading using my adaptation of a Celtic cross. And if you are a regular subscriber to the channel, you may have noticed that I haven't been quite as active this month. And that's because my daughter was just born on January the 23rd. And I may just do the monthly reading for a little while until things settle down. But for now, we're going to do our monthly. For Libra. Okay, Libra, let's see what's going on with you. Interesting. Okay, all right. So, for Libra, what we have here for your current situation is the Nine of Coins in the reverse. So this can be a little bit of a resistance to just sort of sitting back and taking it all in. There's typically like a lot of busyness that goes on with this, where you feel like there's a lot of things that need to be accomplished, a lot of things that need to be done. But there is definitely an opportunity for you to sort of like take a breather, coast a little bit, and recognize all that you've already accomplished. So that's going to be important for you. Now, what's crossing you is this Queen of Coins in the reverse. So this is possibly feeling like there's a sort of lack of nurturing energy or a lack of preparation, feeling like you've not done enough to help others or to love others in the way that you want. This can be kind of frustrating for you to try to do enough to really feel like you are cultivating and nurturing those around you, or someone around you. This could also be externalized, so if it's not you, this could be that somebody is not really nurturing you enough, or you're not feeling like there's enough of a warm, loving presence like there should be. What you're moving away from is this Two of Coins, which is, the Two of Coins is very much like juggling a work-life balance, and this fella is pretty good at it, but things are kind of never really perfect. There's always a little bit, swaying to this side, swaying to that side, and it comes a little bit tedious or difficult. It wears on you to have to constantly be trying to achieve this sort of balance, and so you're moving away from that. So you're getting to be in a more balanced place. You're getting to be you're falling into a groove, a routine where things are becoming a little bit easier. And what you're moving toward is this Ace of Cups here, and the Ace of Cups represents a new opportunity for a new emotional experience, new emotional fulfillment, or just sort of new emotions in general. There's an overflowing of something that's coming almost spontaneously up out of you that is very positive. That's a very strong or pungent almost situation. So what we have for the foundation is Temperance. So the question with the foundation is like, what is this teaching me? What is the lesson that the universe is presenting me with through the scenario that I find myself in? And with this, it's Temperance. So basically what this is you're being taught how to be resilient. You're being taught how to march on, to keep moving, and to get stronger as the result of these challenges. So in this case, with this lack of nurturing or whatnot, you're going to have to find ways of powering through. And it can be very difficult to muster the willpower to get things done, even when it seems like it's not, you don't have the resources or the energy or things like that. So with temperance, the idea here is, going through difficult times, but through those difficult times, becoming stronger or becoming or growing, essentially, through that. When you temper a sword, you throw it in the fire and get it real hot and bang on it with a hammer, and it becomes a lot stronger and sturdier as the result of having been tempered like that. So what seems like a real stressful or difficult situation is actually an opportunity for you to rise above yourself and to become more than you were. Now, what's on your mind is the Six of Cups, which is a nostalgic energy, looking fondly into the past. And it could be that, you're looking back on how things have been kind of good in the past, or how much you enjoyed something in the past. You could be also looking back to your own experiences, trying to carry forward. You might just be a little bit stuck in the past. You might be clinging to something in the past instead of moving forward like you should. And that can cause some resistance too. But, in general, this isn't necessarily a negative. This is, as long as you're able to sort of appreciate it and let it guide you in a positive direction. And that doesn't mean moving backward, right? But learn from the past and recognize that all the things that you've gone through brought you to this moment, right? So your advice for the situation here is the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So this is to avoid, the Knight of Swords in the upright is thinks he knows everything, right? He's very confident in his mental ability, but he's not necessarily cautious. He's got a little bit of arrogance about him to where he thinks that things often are more simple than they really are. He doesn't pay attention to a lot of the caveats or the extenuating circumstances. So in the reverse here, there is like a little bit of a resistance to be doing some quick thinking. So to me, this indicates like a little bit of overthinking, trying to be too well prepared or something like that, and instead of just kind of like going with it. Thoughts are a tool, but a thought is not reality itself. It's just a representation of reality. So overthinking is kind of analogous to, like, you can think of thoughts as like a map, whereas reality is the territory itself. So overthinking is like spending all of your time trying to make the most accurate map possible, but never really actually going out there and using the map. So if you're just sitting in your home trying to make really accurate maps, you're going to find that your maps are completely wrong because you haven't gone out there and got the experience necessary to verify that those maps are correct. So it's not enough to sit around and think about all the things that could happen or how things should work, but you have to actually get out there and put that theory into practice and test what you think. And that's the only way to really to move from knowledge to wisdom. There's this saying, I think in Buddhism, that knowledge without wisdom is a stack of books on the back of an ass. And specifically, it's talking about a donkey, but you get the idea. So your environment here, you have this Two of Swords in the reverse. So this can be a sort of somebody around you is not frozen by by choices, by deciding what way to go. They tend to be very determined. They tend to be very confident in their abilities and their choices. And so this is a person that you probably can learn something from, because if you're feeling a little bit frozen or trapped by the situations, the choices that you have to make, you may find that an influence of somebody who's just very sure-footed or confident in moving forward is a welcome mentor for you. Now for the, but it, the other way that this kind of works is, if this is in your environment, you might feel as though other people are not being careful enough, and so you need to worry more. But that, that can be like a negative feedback loop there, where you're meant to follow the example, not to sort of, counteract it or to complement it, but really you should be kind of learning something from that. But you might instead be feeling like you're trying to counterbalance that energy, whereas it's better for you to kind of take in a little bit of that lack of worry, and recognize that it still works out okay, What you fear is the Seven of Wands. So this is kind of like trying to defend yourself. Like, a lot of people are interjecting or trying to get their own way, or feeling like they know what's best, and you're trying to rise above that and say, like, no, what I say goes. And you're fearing this, so you may be non-confrontational about it, or not wanting others to butt into your business, not feeling like you want to have to defend yourself. But instead, that that can cause a little bit of withdrawal, and that also can kind of lead to that lack of nurturing, because you are not as open and inviting of people, with people. And a lot of times, people, even though they can be insufferable when they're trying to compete for attention or rule the show, there are too many chiefs, not enough Indians is a phrase that comes to mind. But when that kind of thing is happening, a lot of times there is some good input that's coming from those people, but they just don't have the maturity or perspective to be able to recognize that they don't get to rule the situation. They have maybe some good opinions, but they have to defer to you as the leader, right? So try not to worry about that too much, because you don't want to block people off or isolate yourself, but it is sometimes necessary to sort of, battle these wands that are all vying for attention. The overall message is the World. So this is a completion. This is a cycle has completed, has been fulfilled. You have accomplished something very great. You're now moving on to a new journey, but the previous one has been successful, and there's a lot to celebrate here. There's some enlightenment or full realization of a brand new journey or phase in your life that you're going through, and this is a great thing here. So your focus here needs to move to what's next, and what is the new dimension of growth that you are supposed to be learning or developing, because you've made a good one here, but it's never over. The end of one cycle is really just the beginning of a new one. So the question now becomes, what's next? Where are you headed? And also to remember to celebrate for what you have done. It's a great thing. So that's about it for this one. This one's a little bit shorter and sweeter, but that's okay. Thank you for watching very much, and I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do this month, but for sure I'll be here next month for your next monthly meeting, and I will see you guys again next time. Have a good one.